This is Kenny with Just the Right Angle coming at you live this morning, December 3rd, with some breaking news. Something you should have heard about before, especially if you're a longtime Republican subscriber to their email list, but haven't. And so I'm having to tell you this. There are runoff elections. They are happening today. And the Republican Party has failed to inform people about this. Well, for those who don't know, we had, of course, the general election on November 5th. But in the event of that election, if nobody gets a majority, then it must go into what's known as a runoff election. In that runoff election, you have the chance to vote on whoever got the majority. Whoever gets the majority in that then wins the race. What I've had to do here is post the list of elections that are taking place at this time. Folks, I'm sorry if I do have any delays. Oh, here it is. And of course, these elections are mainly of city councils. Matter of fact, I think they're all city councils, city directors. I think there's one for treasurer. There's one for mayor. These are, again, very important positions. Of course, these mayors, these city council officials, they spend millions of dollars. They decide everything from COVID mandates to tax increases, what you can do with your property. As I said before, oftentimes your local officials can have much more effect on you than the president. Donald Trump has a lot to do. He can't come down here and fix what's going on with a 15-minute city project. He can defund a lot of the federal programs where that money comes from for that. But as far as the state and local level, that has to be up to you. And thanks for all who've shown up here to look at this. But yeah, this is something that, again, the Republican Party of Arkansas should at least send an email about, but they haven't. And I'll even show you. Here's the Republican Party of Arkansas website right here. There it is today, December 3rd. Special elections. It's not even on their calendar. They have these other meetings that go on that are coming on next month, or next week rather. This took all of maybe Arkansas Democrat Gazette already made this list, so it just took a few minutes for me to structure this and send it out to people. Why Seth May or Joseph Wood or somebody else didn't just simply put this list out and do it in a way. Here's the RPA newsletters. The last one's from June 25th. And no help there. Press release. Any press release? No. Nothing useful. Here's part of the problem is the Republican Party Executive Committee was too busy kicking out members of the entire Saline County GOP committee to actually bother with elections. The Republican Party of Arkansas today, this was yesterday, voted to dissolve the Saline County Republican Committee and expel members who had been at odds of the party's leadership. They can't even cite the one specific rule that these Saline County members broke. So instead, they just decided to expel all of them. And if y'all want to chat, I don't know the political leaning of any of these candidates. I'm going to assume at least one of them has to be somewhat of a Republican. I know that in Sebastian County, for instance, there's a big fight regarding the 15-minute cities. If you see my page, there's a guy named Joe McCutcheon who's there having a fight against what is known as UN Agenda 2030. It used to be called UN Agenda 21, and they just updated it. And I'm sending this out to as many people as possible. But especially since this is regarding the failures of the Republican Party of Arkansas, we have a state committee meeting on December 7th, this coming Saturday, and it looks like it's going to be rigged in a way to where the same incompetent leadership that failed in this and many other things is going to be reinstalled to screw things up even more and go after more conservatives. It is an uphill battle, is just like in the founding of this nation, and the many times, and if you remember the Bible, when these righteous kings would try to reform Israel, they had to face these massive uphill battles regarding reform. But here we are again. So I don't know. I urge people to get out and research these people. If you know anything about any of these people running for office, a lot of these are in Democrat strongholds. Washington County, they have cities like Fayetteville. The mayor of Fayetteville, that's that's one of the biggest cities in the state. Can you imagine if a Republican won the mayor of Fayetteville? How much of a difference that would make? I don't know. And I don't know if either of these people are Republican or not. The treasurer of White County, you know how many millions of dollars that person will be in charge of? But again, we don't know. And most people don't even know it's happening because somebody didn't bother to sit down and just do a simple email. Jacksonville, I don't know. Tanner Ripple versus Chisa Williams, and in Maumelle, Barry Brown versus L.J. Wesley. I know some people in Maumelle, but I don't know who these people are. If you have any info, I'm going to type this into the chat. If you have any info on any of these candidates, please let everyone know. And we saw not too long ago during the Fauci flu, how in Pulaski County, Democrat Judge Barry Hyde kept mandates in place, even though the state, under then China puppet Asa Hutchinson, had ended the mask mandate. Judge Barry Hyde kept them in place. And of course, some of these cities have been trying to push for these kind of mandates as well. And the sad thing is, we could have people fight against us, but again, we need conservative city and county local officials. That's often how you get to be able to recruit national officials to run against what we call rhinos in Congress. Here, I'll just read off the list here. Benton County, Bella Vista, City Council, Jerry Snow, Travis Harp. And then in another ward, Annette Isbell, Doug Fowler, Centerton, Wendy Henson, Keith Higginbotham, Pea Ridge. They had a big Civil War battle. It's a nice place to visit, by the way. Stephen Guthrie versus Wendy Harding. City of Rogers, another large city. Carissa Cummings, Marge Wolf, Alicia Hayes Minor, Siloam Springs. I believe they have John Brown University is there. They have Reid Carroll and Kevin Williams, and then Brad Burns and Mark Long. Boone County, Harrison, where I know they're fighting against a crypto mine, and I think there's a windmill facility near there. Charlie Pierce and Austin Wilson. Columbia County, which I believe is down near the Delta area. Magnolia, that's a Democrat stronghold. Annette Hughey, Wayne Simpson. Craighead County on Jonesboro, the mayor there. Harold Copenhaver, L.J. Bryan. I know there's a big, strong conservative group up there in Jonesboro area. Crittenden County, City Council, Gene Hardin, Kesley, Pirani, Hensley, Cross County, Justin Hopkins, Sherry Gillon, Faulkner County, where Conway is. Again, that's a major city there in the state. Drew Spurgers, Mark Vaught. I know there's a Faulkner County Tea Party group that meets up there. Yeah, people need to have been known about this a long time ago. And again, a few votes can make the difference in some of these races, because some of these races are probably going to have like less than 100 votes total. In Hardy City Council, Natalie Quintana Dubois and Junior Wise, Horseshoe Bend, Troy Maxim, Luther Yancey. I know there's a group that meets around Horseshoe Bend that keeps up what's going on there. Marrying a Bull Shoals, William Bill Stallman Jr. and Carol Duss, Monroe County, little town of Brinkley, Daniel Davenport and Willie Branch, and in Clarendon, Phil Washington, Ernestine Artis. In Phillips County, Helena, West Helena. I think that's where they had the water issue, if I'm not mistaken. I also know in Phillips County, their voting machines failed. I remember testifying about that in the state legislature. For city councils, Adrian Messina, LaToya Harris. And of course, Pulaski County I mentioned before. Sebastian County, where for mention that fight regarding 50-minute cities. Charles Jetton, Don Hutchins. And for Fort Smith, Lee Kemp, Russell E. Bragg. Sharp County in the little town of Hardy, Natalie Dubois Jr. Wise. I think I may have gone over that. I think I may have been in the same place. Anyway, Washington County, again, there's at Fayetteville. Yeah. Prairie Grove, there's a fight there. Brian Hawkins, Audrey Wetzel, White County, and Pangburn, the treasurer, Leslie Gray, Nikki Tackett, and in Yell County, Tommy Greenfield, Robin Duvall. Don't know if he's in relation to Robert Duvall. Yell County, that's where the scene for, was it Rooster Cogburn? Oh, what's that movie? The little girl hires Rooster Cogburn to avenge his father's death. No, I can't remember that. It's a famous Western. True Grit. Took me a minute to figure it out, to remember that. Good morning, Elaine. From Facebook. And of course, this is broadcasted on Facebook Live. Rumble, Just the Right Angle. And YouTube, Keep Arkansas Legal. This will become a video on there. Again, I wish I could tell you more about these candidates. I wish people had been known more about this ahead of time, so you could know who to campaign for in addition to voting for. But again, there's the Republican Party of Arkansas failing to do its job. Again. Oh, just to show you, I'm on their email list. This is the last communique that I got from the Republican Party of Arkansas. It was Wednesday, November 6th, and it was a statement regarding the election. Of course, we elected President Donald Trump because this state was turned red by the Tea Party. Of course, the congressional seats, they were not an issue for again, not because of the consultant class, but because of the Tea Party, who turned the state red after Obamacare. And we did not sweep the state legislature by supermajorities. Those are already in place. As a matter of fact, Arkansas Republicans lost one seat in the Republican House and made no gains in the Senate. So Democrats actually eked out a small victory in this election during a Republican sweep across the nation. And I don't know how many stats we did regarding Adopt a State, where we called in other states where Trump really needed help. I know that the only one I know of major effort that was done by Arkansas First District, which is in opposition to Joseph Wood politically. Me, my lovely wife Rebecca, and a few others went out and made phone calls for Donald Trump in places like Pennsylvania and Arizona. But again, the RPA had nothing to do with that. And I know, going by the headquarters several times, seeing it empty on Saturdays, days would normally you would have a few people and have phone banks to do that very thing. So folks, I'll go into more detail about why this failure happened. It mainly has to do with the anti-conservative efforts done by Joseph Wood and his handlers regarding Saline County, the Republican Party of Arkansas State Convention, and the upcoming state committee meeting. But I wanted to let people know, yes, there are runoff elections going on. A few votes could make the difference. And to just research these candidates, find out who they are, and hopefully we can install a few conservatives in these very important city and county positions. Other than that, just remember, when the wicked rule, the people groan. You all have a great day.